Well, hello. Once again, it's time to check on my worm bin. It's been a while, so let's see what's going on. This is my red wiggler, a blue worm mixed worm bin. I thought it was a red wiggler worm bin, but come to find out, it was not a pure red wiggler worm bin because I got these worms from a vendor way back in the day. But I'm not really using my gloves today. I'm just getting my rake, just trying to see what's going on. The bedding is dry. It's at a nice consistency. It's not really wet. But on the edges where the bubble wrap was not around the paper, it's a little bit drier. So I'm going to make these worms happy by fluffing it up, aerating the bin. And then I want to add a lot more cardboard in there because I've had some cardboard in 2 garbage bags for a few months, and it's time to get rid of that. I don't want to be a hoarder, so let's go ahead and give this food to the worms. As you can see, Ruby, she's always around helping me out, giving them this cardboard, which is just at a good consistency, and it'll be a food scrap for the worms. And it's funny how you accumulate so much cardboard, and the benefit of having worms, as you can see, the worms will eat this cardboard and make me fertilizer for my garden. That way it will save us money, time, and you're doing a great thing for the environment. So I'm going to put the bubble wrap on to cover it up to keep the cardboard moist. And I'm also going to give them some worm chow. I'm not going to give them a heavy feeding of food scraps. I'm going to just give them more dry food this time. Let me get my sprayer out. It's my little handy dandy sprayer. I like it. It's a good sprayer. It's about a liter sprayer, and it gets the job done. Easy to use. And if you're interested, look in the links in my description to find out what other great products I use for my worm farming and other great tips to help you out if you're interested in that. But I had to tell Ruby to get out of the worm bin. She's trying to walk on a bubble wrap. But this is my homemade worm chow. Easy to make. If you want to know more about my worm chow, check out the video that's going to be in the end screen at the end of this video. And click on that to learn how to make your own worm chow. And all worm chow is different, but this is what I use, and my worms are happy. And there's other people that made theirs, and they're happy as well. So now let's go ahead and look at the next worm bin with the heroes. Well, here goes Ruby. She's got to be up close and personal. She used to have stage fright of being on the camera, but now she is like, I'm taking over. I'm going to make her my editor because she's the one that's doing all the video footage for me. I'm no longer important. So thanks, Ruby, for kicking me to the curb. But there are plenty of castings in here. I have not fed them for a while, but these castings are nice and really not nice, but they are damp. So I have to get them ready for harvesting. But I'm going to go ahead and get prepared to push these castings over to the side and add more bedding on this other side too. And that's one great thing, once again, when it comes to cardboard. There's so much resources of cardboard that you can use. You will never have to worry about your worms starving. But Ruby, she's all over the place. She's like seeing how many worms. I might have to do a video of Ruby counting worms. Yeah, right. That'd be a joke, if you know what I mean, because I don't think she would have the patience to even count worms. She'd be batting them and probably trying to eat them. But I didn't know. I thought, with my cardboard, it'd be too much. But man, this is definitely the right amount. I was able to first fill up the first bin, and I was able to add more cardboard. So I am not going to be worried about these worms for a while. I can go at least a month or two without even have to worry about these worms because they'll eat all this cardboard. But I'm still going to check on them probably about every 3 weeks now because life's getting busy. You know, it makes it hard to really do things when it comes to your worm farming videos because you're working long hours and you're tired, but the worms will be fine as long as you feed them, give them air, and nice bedding, they'll be good to go. So what are your thoughts, Ruby? You see anything that I'm missing? Are you investigating a worm chow? Okay, let's look at the other worm bin with the Euros. It's the same thing with this worm bin. There are a lot of castings. Put my glove on to try to change it up. But I don't want to cross-contaminate my worm bins because someone in a previous video, thank you for your feedback about how my worms could cross-contaminate like pure breed worms with other worms because there could be some stragglers on my gloves, which there have been. So that's why I'm trying to switch it up. But I might have to get me about 2 more gloves, different colors, one for the mixed worm bands, the Euros, and the pure red wigglers. So what are your thoughts? If you think that's a good idea, leave it in the comments box below. So here we go. Let's go ahead and give these worms some bedding. But the thing about cardboard, you have to watch out because it has a tendency to dry over like compared to newspaper because of the different texture. So within like the first couple of days, just check to see if the moisture's still good with your cardboard. If not, add more water to keep it damp. And then once you get that moisture in there, you won't have to worry about checking on them for a while after that. I decided I'm going to give them some worm chow. But as you can see, so far this week, everything's the same. Worms are getting the same type of food scraps. So they're happy. I'm happy. And Ruby's happy. So there they go. And when you add your worm chow, don't have your worm bin like really wet. Have it damp so that way your worm chow can just stay on the top. Here's my diversity and inclusion worm bin. It has red wigglers, blue worms, and European night crawlers, the Euros. And as you can see, I got a mini garden going on over there on the left side. I don't even know what the sprouts are. So this bedding was from the previous corrugated cardboard. And it held its moisture. As you can see, it's really damp, so great results. I'm going to pluck up the sprouts and just put them back in there for the worms to consume. But I'm going to add more bedding just to keep these worms a little bit more happier because I want to try, like I said, get rid of most of the cardboard that I can. And what I do, I try not to put any cardboard that I have for the worms, like all this corrugated cardboard. I try to just shred it up and use it for them. And I'll put like my junk mail paper and everything else inside of my composting bin outside. The worms get the quality quality cardboard, and the compost bin gets the leftovers. So with your worms, do you use cardboard, or what is your method of feeding your worms the bedding? A thing I have not heard about lately is people using cocoa core. That was a huge thing, but now it seems like majority of us are feeding our worms the cardboard, the newspaper, and people feed them leaves. So once again, what is your method of feeding your worms as bedding? Leave it in the comments box below. So let's see, Ruby, what are your thoughts? Do you see anything in there once again that I'm missing? She must see a worm because she's thinking about going in the worm bin. Yeah, she has no fear when it comes to worms. But as you can see, it's light. I'm lightly putting the worm chow on top. It's not going on too heavy. Just like I said, make it light. The worms will come up and eat that. And then once once I start feeding them a few times with the light coating on this side, I'm going to just start feeding the right side. And that way they can come over and I can harvest the castings on the left side. And here's my red wiggler worm bin. And this worm bin, it had a BAS in it. That's a big A spider, if you know what I mean. This one definitely caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. And I'm not a spider person. But every now and then you might find something like that in your worm bin, so you use with caution. But yeah, it caught me off guard. It had me intimidated. But like I said, I'm fluffing up the bedding. This bedding was more drier, but I'm going to give them some cardboard. I'm moving the cardboard that's not moist over to the right side. I'm going to add the cardboard on top. And there's a BAS right there. Caught me off guard. I tried to hit it with my glove. But I wasn't expecting that. But as you can see, it's in the left bottom corner. So are you a fan of spiders? Let me know. I tried to get it. Shoot, I'm not gonna lie. My two fears are spiders and bats. If you have a phobia, leave it in the comments box below. But other than that, hopefully I killed the spider, but I wasn't gonna go in looking for it. But yeah, like I said, every now and then you might have a spider in there, so just use with caution. But I saw it. I don't think I killed it. I think I saw it moving around, but as you can see, I don't think spiders like water. So I add a little moisture in there to try to deter it. But I wasn't going to put my hand in there and try to find that spider. So yeah, once again, there was a BAS in there. A big A spider. So have you ever had spiders in your worm bin? If you're still here, leave it in the comments box below because I'd like to hear your answer on that one. But now, this bin looks good. I'm going to give them some worm chow. Then I'm going to have to look at one more worm bin that I was going to harvest, and then I got behind, and we'll get results on that. But here's what I'm thinking about doing with this next worm bin. But let me go ahead and finish feeding these worms that worm chow. So here's my next bin with the worm castings. I was baiting them out. This bin was completely... It had frozen banana peels and stuff in it, but it's all gone. The worms are all out of there. But I'm thinking now what I'm going to do is just feed this worm bin worm chow on one side and have them all migrate over there to where the worm chow is. I'm going to feed worm chow there for about 2 or 3 days because I have a friend that I promised I would give castings to. So I want to go and harvest castings and let him have them to try them out and see his results with his garden. But that's one good thing about being a worm farmer. You have the opportunity to share and give things away to other worm farmers. But I was thinking too before I ended this video was, how am I going to remember what side I put the worm chow on if the worms are over there? But as you can see, I got that one container on the left side, and the worm chow is going to be on the right. So that way I'll know where the worms should be.